One of the biggest things I see that Malcolm X can be faulted for with his philosophy is this notion of black separatism. This is more than anything else, as far as his ability to be able to judge and look out there and see what he could be saying that would be helpful, is this notion of black separatism. As a principle, it's never, ever, ever had any chance of going anywhere in America, going all the way back to Marcus Garvey and whoever else, even before him, who might have been espousing this. The notion is just ridiculous on the face of it. And for somebody who seemed to be as clear thinking and aware as he seemed to have been anyway, it seems like he would have been able to see through this. Although I would guess, of course I'm saying this in hindsight with 20/20 vision. Obviously back then in the early 60s, he would have looked around and he would have been quite well aware of what was going on in colonial Africa at the time, Ghana and other places, achieving independence from their colonial rulers. But the problem is that the two circumstances, the Africans in one case and black Americans in another case, the two circumstances couldn't be any more different. And there were reasons why things were able to work out for the people in Africa who wanted to break away. There are too many to name here, but if you were to sit down and be honest with yourself and thinking about the differences between the two cases, you can see easily how this was just a non-starter, basically, as far as Americans doing the same things. And just the logistical aspects of the whole thing it just was never going to work. So for him to spend so much time talking about that is not in the plus column for me. Of course, obviously this is something that he did not bring to the nation himself. It was already there when he got there, and of course he being swept into the whole thing with the Islam and black nationalism and all of the different things that they were preaching at the time he came in. I mean, it was just something that he latched on to. I think over time he was able, obviously over time as his eyes became open to a number of problems that were associated with the organization itself and its leader, Elijah Muhammad, he started to change course a little bit. Unfortunately, because his life was cut short, he was not able to continue with the transformation that was taking place. It is interesting, it would have been interesting rather, to have seen where he would have wound up had he had a chance to live longer. Obviously, he was a person who was able to shift gears, so to speak, and it was not the type of person who would just, once he's latched on to something, and just was unable to see whatever faults may have been there and needed to be dealt with somehow.